Hi, welcome to Open Door Yoga. My name is Michelle and this practice is geared for beginners. So if you are new to yoga, welcome. The only prop that you're going to need today is a blanket, and I would consider grabbing a stack of blankets if you have them. Blankets are going to be nice because they can be a lift for when we're seated on the mat. They can give a little cushion to your knees if your knees are feeling sensitive today or if you're on a hard surface like I am. You can also use a stack of blankets as a low support surface. So if hinging over really far doesn't feel comfortable in your body, you can bring your hands up a little bit higher. So take a minute, get everything that you need, then let's get started. We're going to get started in seated. And so I invite you to find a comfortable seat on the earth. If it's difficult in your hips or in your low back to sit with a nice tall spine, or if you're just looking for a little bit of support and comfort, I invite you to grab one of your blankets, one of your towels, and bring it underneath your sitting bones. So we're going to bring our hips a little bit higher than our knees, and that's going to allow us to release a little bit in our low back and allow our legs to hang heavy. Feel both of your sitting bones grounded. So if you want to shuffle a little bit from side to side, feel free to do so. And then hands come to rest comfortably on the legs. They could be close towards your knees or up a little bit higher on your thighs. Stack your shoulders over your hips, ears over your shoulders, and then allow your shoulders to sink down towards the ground. Create a little bit of space between your ears and the tops of your shoulders. Crown of the head reaches up towards the sky. So it's becoming a little bit more of an active posture, and that's okay. Feel some engagement, some integrity in the core. And then bring your awareness to your breath. A significant part of yoga is awareness and that connection between the body and the breath. So there's no need to change anything today. Just notice. Follow the path of your inhale as it travels all the way into your body, down into your low ribs and abdomen. Then mindfully follow it all the way back out. Maybe the breath is coming in through your nose and your mouth. Maybe just your nose, maybe just your mouth. Again, no need to change anything today. Just allow yourself to kind of clear out any of the mental distractions, the to-do list of the day, and be present. Single pointed focus on the self. Giving yourself permission to take care of your body, to take care of your mind, your soul, your spirit. Take one more breath in. Release that breath completely. Then we're going to shift on over to hands and knees. So slowly, carefully, intentionally remove your lift if you've used one. And then I'd invite you to bring your props towards the top of the mat to make them accessible. Shift on over and find your wrists under your shoulders, knees under hip points. Toes could be tucked or untucked. And before we do anything else, check in with your knees. If you're already feeling a little bit of discomfort, grab a blanket. Bring it wide enough so that both of your knees can rest on it, and take your time. There's no rush today. Find the position that's going to feel most comfortable in your body. And then as you're ready, on your next inhale, begin to tilt your tailbone up. And as your belly drops, pull your shoulders back to lift your heart space. This is BT Lasana cow pose. Pause here for a moment. Feel the widening between your collarbones. And then on your next exhale, tuck your tailbone, round through your spine, press away from the mat, scoop your belly in. Crown drops. Marjariyasana, cat pose. Now flow with your breath. Inhale, sending you into cow. And exhale, sending you into cat. Movement starts down at the tailbone and works its way up the spine like a snake or like a wave in the ocean. Feel that opening between your chest, the opening of your heart space in cow pose. And then in cat pose, feel your shoulder blades reach away from each other. We'll just take one more cycle through cow and through cat. And then come back to stillness and tabletop. From here, begin to press your palms into the earth. Lift your navel, so kind of scoop it in just to create space to step your right foot forward. Send your hips forward and down, and then lift your hands off of the mat. They can come to rest comfortably on your thigh. If you're looking for a little bit more opening today, you could even sweep them up and overhead, settling those shoulder blades down on your back body. Fingertips could be zipped to kind of trap energy if that's what you're looking for today, or you could keep them loose. Keep that mindful awareness on your breath. One more full breath in. And then exhale, release your right hand, fold to the right. Imagine this lifting up and over your waist. Your left shoulder blade still flat on your back body. So if you're rounding down, just line back up. Breathe into your left rib cage. On your next inhale, rise. And exhale, plant both of your hands on the inside of your right foot. Begin to toe heel your right foot to the outer side or the outer edge of the mat. And then turn your toes out about 45 degrees. Hands come back in line with shoulders. And then again, hips go forward and down. This is lizard pose. So check in. If this is too much in your hips and you're finding like you're starting to pop up your hips, grab your low support surface. Tack as many blankets as you need to feel this comfortably in your body. And when I say comfortably, you're going to feel a little bit of a stretch. But we don't want it to feel painful, if that makes sense. Just a muscular stretch. If you're looking for more sensation, you have the option to lower down onto your forearms or even further. Just make sure that as you lower, your hips stay down so they don't lose the sensation that we're going for with this posture. If you folded on your next inhale, rise back up. And we're going to slowly begin to toe heel our right foot over behind our left wrist. Slowly drop your right knee down behind your right wrist. Pigeon pose. Now, if this is too much in your hips and your low back, you could grab your stack of blankets and bring it under your right thigh, right knee. That's going to give you a little bit of a lift so that the sensation isn't quite as intense in your outer hip. Again, if you're looking for more sensation, there's options here too. You could hinge forward to your forearms or release your forehead down towards the earth. Again, if you folded forwards, just check in with your hips. If they're popping up, then choose another variation, choose another option. Breathe deep. And maybe send your breath to the parts of your body that are feeling this the most. Exhale, find a little bit of engagement in your core. Inhale, begin to walk it back up if you folded. And then slowly bend into that left hip crease. So we're sending our sitting bones back, and then we can unwind that right leg and come back to tabletop. Take a moment here. If it feels good, send your hips to the left and gaze past your right shoulder. And then take it to the other side. You can alternate from one side or the other. Maybe being a little creative with your shoulders and your spine. Finding what feels good. And allowing the movement that you choose to be your medicine. I always like that phrase, movement is medicine. The idea that we can use the physical postures of yoga and the movement of our body to heal, to bring us good energy, to bring us strength and flexibility, balance. Begin to find stillness, and we'll take it to the other side. So again, press into your palms, scoop in your belly just a bit to create space, and step your left foot forward. Now, as you practice, if you're finding that it's hard to step forward in the middle, you can always step your foot out and then walk it on in, or toe heel it on in. So you can choose that transition that feels good. Then send your hips forward and down, opening up through your right hip flexor. And then send it on up to your chest. Open up your chest. Hands can come to thighs. And if they're on your thighs, you could press gently to open up your heart space. Or send those arms up and overhead. Check down and peek at your left knee. When we're down on the ground and we're not weight bearing, your knee could be a little bit further past your ankle, or maybe even a little bit closer in if your hip flexor is feeling a little tight today. As you practice yoga and you lift that back leg and you're more in a standing posture, we want to make sure that that knee stays stacked over the ankle. It's going to keep your knee safe. One more full breath in, lift up off your waist, and exhale, come up and over, folding to the left. Left fingertips could reach the earth if it's available to you. If not, you could let them hang heavy or bring them to your support surface. Feel that expansion through your entire right side torso. Again, shoulder blades stacked on your back body. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Plant both hands on the inside of your left foot. Toe heel that left foot to the long edge of the mat. Pivot your toes out 45 degrees. Make your way into the lizard posture that feels best in your body. So if you're looking for more, remember you can hinge, just checking in with those hips. Or grab your low support surface and bring the ground up a little higher for you. Shoulder blades flat on your back body. Release any tension in the neck. Rise on up. If you've hinged, we'll set our low support surface off to the side just so we can begin to toe heel our left foot back almost in line with our right wrist, and then drop our left knee behind our left wrist. We're coming into pigeon pose. Check in. If this feels good, you're welcome to hinge forward. But if this is feeling really uncomfortable in your outer hip and your low back, grab a blanket or 2 or 3 and bring it under your knee and outer hip. That's going to reduce the angle of this stretch and reduce the sensation or the amount of opening that's required in that left outer hip. So it's a good option if you're not feeling really open today, especially if you're new to yoga, new to the practice. One more full breath in. If you folded on your exhale, find a little integrity through your core so we can support our spine and our low back. And then inhale, press yourself back up. Remove this lift if you've used it. And then begin to send those hips back. Pivot that left foot forward or back in line with your right knee, back to tabletop. From here, we're going to make our way back to seated. And so if you'd like to use your lift, it's in a good spot. Just fold it back up and bring your sitting bones right back on top of it. Maybe crossing the opposite leg in front. So yoga is all about balance. And when it comes to sitting on the ground, we tend to have a preference. One leg's forward and the other leg always gets tucked on the inside. Let's switch it up. Bring a little bit of balance to our body. Let's go through our checklist. Feel your sitting bones grounded. And if you don't feel them grounded, sometimes it takes a little bit of shuffling from side to side to readjust the flesh and feel those bones kind of grounded down into the mat or into your lift. Stack your shoulders again over your hips, ears over your shoulders. Crown reaches up towards the sky. Shoulder blades sink down towards the hips. Full breath in all the way down to those low ribs. Release your breath completely. We want to release our breath completely on our exhales to allow for the most space for our new inhale, for fresh breath, fresh energy. On your next exhale, release your hands down to your sides. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Exhale, gentle twist to the right. Left hand to right knee. Right hand comes behind. Imagine twisting from your core. So one way to help you out is to imagine sending your breath out or exhaling from the bottom up. Sometimes there's a tendency to kind of pull with your arm. But your body knows where its limit is. So allow the strength of your core to dictate the extent of the twist. One more full breath in and out. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, release your hands down to the side. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Exhale, gentle twist to the left. Twisting from the core. Check in, see that your shoulders are still stacked over your hips. Shoulder blades still flat on the back body. So if you're rounding, no worries. Just notice what's happening in your body and make an adjustment. A few breath exchanges here. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, release your hands down by your sides. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead one last time, palms to touch in the center. Exhale, slide those hands down to heart center. Thank you for sharing this practice with me today. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.